Good morning, everyone on YouTube. I hope you all doing well. I am, as usual, long overdue for an update to you all. This morning, I decided that I wanted to give you guys all a heads up on what's going on in the shop because we've got a lot going on, and that's part of the reason why I have not been posting content is I've just been so busy trying to play catch up on everything. You know, the reality is with all these world events going on, it's truly compounded the issue that we're busy because a lot of the materials and things that we are normally able to acquire fairly quickly through our distribution partners or our strategic sponsors or partners is not getting to us fast enough. So going through some growing pains in that sense and some distribution and growing pains because there's been a lot of transition in the market recently, and but nonetheless, that doesn't mean that we are not busy and having fun working with our customers, and we've got a lot of exciting things that are going on right now. So I can give you a little bit of a preview into that. We have a BMW 850i that's currently on rack number 1, and if you're familiar with this car, it's unique in the sense that there's not a lot of them out there, and it's a V12. This one happens to have a setup on it. There's a couple of different manifold setups that come on these vehicles. And this one happens to have a setup on it which has dual 3-bolt flanges on it, which makes it a fairly, it's a pretty difficult application to work with. I'm trying to get it to focus here, but each side of the engine has dual 3-bolt flanges on it. And it makes it extremely difficult and challenging to custom fabricate a set of exhaust off of it. So what we're doing here is we're actually running 2 inches off of the flange, and then it's going into 2.5-inch transition, which will then Y into a 3-inch. And that's where we're at this point. We're going to be integrating a X pipe, which you've seen is the picture for this particular live upload. We're going to be integrating that, so kind of the midsection here, going to be running a couple of vibrant resonators in order to keep it from being raspy at all, because that seems to be an issue with a lot of the BMW applications is if you start opening them up a little bit to get more airflow, they start to get really raspy on you. So we're going to mitigate that by running a couple of the bottle style resonators from Vibrant. This is typically what I use. It's part number 1794. It's a 3-inch and it's 12 inches long. A set of those will really keep it nice. We use that on all different applications from Mitsubishis to BMWs to Mustangs, just depending on whatever the application need is. It's usually a good fit. But that's not the only thing we've got going on here in the shop. We've also got Sarah's Mustang. If you guys remember the Mustang that I did the twin turbo kit on, Sinclair, this is owned by that gentleman's wife. She's brought in the vehicle in here for quite a few changes. She's looking for some chassis upgrades as well as a full exhaust system. So we're gonna be ripping off the current exhaust system. She's gonna have me bolt on these new BBK headers, and then we're going to be fabricating from those back a whole new exhaust system so that she can be proud of her vehicle and the way that it sounds and looks just like Ed's Sinclair, which, by the way, is very close to being finished. I know you guys have been eagerly awaiting updates on that particular vehicle. It is almost done. He's been going through a lot of headache trying to get it, all the loose ends tied up on it. He had some trouble getting a proper drive shaft based on the configuration that he needs. He went through a lot of wiring. I mean, he did a whole custom wiring kit on that vehicle with a Haltech. So it is now pretty much ready to start running and get tuning soon. So I'm hoping to have some updates on that. But in the meantime, I'll be keeping you guys occupied with Sarah's car. In addition to her car getting a new full exhaust system, she's also having me do a panhard bar as well as a heavy duty torque arm. So she's got Maximum Motorsports product here that she wants to have me install, And when Jacob gets here today, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at what that entails and start getting that going here. In addition to that, we've also still got Cadence car here. Cadence car, as you know, was finished up about a month and a half, maybe a couple of months ago now, and had a lot of success. Took it over to Boost and Performance after we did the whole rebuild on the car with a new turbo kit, the Zona Rotor 7164S, dual MVS wastegates from Tile, the works. This car made well over 550 horsepower on the Boost and Performance dyno, which is really respectable for an automatic. Unfortunately, based on that power level, the shift points in the transmission and the way that it was set up, it unfortunately didn't last. So the transmission we removed and shipped out to Darren Thomas Racing, who specializes in rebuilding automatic transmissions for these vehicles for the application needs that we have. And as soon as it gets back, we're going to be stabbing that back into the vehicle, and in order to prevent any future issues, trying to jump around with getting the shift points right and all that sort of stuff, which can change regularly based on what he's doing with the vehicle and if he wants to be racing or daily driving it, and if he wants to tighten up the converter, all that kind of stuff. We're going to just get rid of the standard style shifter setup, and he's going to have a ratchet style shifter, so it'll be able to control where it needs to shift properly at what RPMs given certain conditions, and shouldn't have any issues in the future with respect to that. I think it'll be pretty fun because it'll be like having, you know, an automatic that you can still shift manually, but no clutch. And while I'm still one of those guys that prefers a manual transmission with a clutch, as you know, I think this is kind of a cool application and definitely a good option for those that are looking to make good power as well as have something fun to drive, because being able to control the gears is definitely changes the overall, you know, experience. But if you're not familiar or comfortable with a manual transmission and driving with clutch in the mix, then I think this is a good alternative. Plus, it's going to mitigate any future issues with the transmission. So that's what we got going on here. In addition to that, you may or may not be familiar with the fact that the Black Zenith Evo has been sitting at home broken at the moment. We recently took it to Anarchy, which is a no prep event, and unfortunately suffered a broken axle during the first round. So just recently pulled all that apart, cleaned out the diff with Devin's help from Boost and Performance. Thank you, Devin. He helped me switch around the clutch pack so that it's got more of an LSD effect, which should help us in racing moving forward. And then I've ordered some drive shaft shop axles, which are rated for 1200 horsepower, some new hubs, larger splines, so that we don't have this issue in the future and I can stop babying the car out of the hole. Because up until this day, I've had stock axles and it's been in the back of my mind, and therefore I have not necessarily given it as much aggressiveness out of the hole as I could, but that's gonna change now. So that's what's going on here at Hochman Fabrication and Speed. Again, apologize for not giving you guys regular updates as often as I'd love to, but I'm still working on that. Still trying to figure out how I can capture as much content as I can and get it uploaded to you as quickly as I can. So in the short term, I think that I have to do some more live feeds in order to do that. So if that's what I have to do, I will. But in the meantime, just wanted to keep you guys updated on what's going on here, and talk to you soon. Have a good one.